on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology, which I can usually will not upload on general YouTube platform. Connect with me on Patreon and we will grow, and I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. Aries ascendant. For you, a lot is happening in the month of January. January starts with a retrograde Mars, your ascendant lord and your eighth lord becoming retrograde in your second house, therefore creating some sort of eagerness, anxiety, insecurity, and you will have to take control of that. On 14th, Mars will become progressive. And also on 14th, Sun will make its move in the sign of Capricorn. So it is the time of power. So till the first half of January, you should refrain from taking any random out of the box decision. From 14th of January till 17th of January, Sun will be in Capricorn, Mars will be in Taurus, both direct, both stable. And for 3 days, there will be a Sun and Saturn conjunction. So that can create disturbance in your social circle, disturbance in a sudden dispute with your boss. So if you want to pitch your case, if you want to pitch your emotions and your demands, especially with your boss, supervisors, people in authority, you will have to be careful. From 17th of January onwards, Saturn will make its move in the sign of Aquarius. So now that's the time, because the entire 17 days will be just a preparation for Saturn to go in Aquarius. And the transit of Venus is also talking a lot, because first Venus will be in Capricorn and then the Venus will be in Aquarius zodiac sign along with Saturn. So Venus will start experiencing the Saturnian energy, and therefore January is the month of realization of truth. It's a month that can bring transformation in relationships. You will realize who is your true family. You will know who you can rely and fall back to. You will understand who are your true well-wishers and the loved ones, and then you should start respecting them. It will also refine your social structure, refine your network communication, and you will also see that some reality or some truth can trouble you, and you may assume that the entire year is going to be bad, but that's not how it will work. Let Buddha, Mercury, go direct. Try to avoid any kind of dispute during this time. Try to avoid any emotional outburst. Try to avoid showing your power, and try to focus more on the Jupiterian subconscious power and subconscious energy. It's a very good time for people looking for practical solutions in life. It's a very good time for financial recovery. It's a good time to secure your finances by planning one full year. It's a good time for businesses who is trying to streamline their structure, maybe control the people working, and in a way that everybody is happy. Definitely not a good time to overload yourself with a lot of duties, responsibilities unnecessarily. This is also the month where your expectations will see some sort of delay. The fulfillment of expectation will see a delay, so don't stop doing the karma. Karma should continue in the month of January. Also, because second house, first house, seventh house is getting affected, stress should be avoided. Stress can hurt your health, so you should take care of your health. Eat right, manage your calories, and you should be very careful when you are talking aggressively with anyone. Debate, but ensure that your words are not creating any war here. Jupiter in the 12th house is going to take control of your Trikbhava, 12th, 6th and 8th. But then you must respect the Jupiterian energy, which talks about expansion of devotion, which talks about surrender, which talks about accepting the truth as it is. And sometimes, no matter how much you try, things won't change. So you just need to go with the flow. So January is a month when you go with the flow and you will see everything to be turning out to be extremely positive. Taurus ascendant. If you're a Taurus ascendant, first of all, your ascendant is experiencing a retrograde Mars in the beginning of 2023. With Rahu in the 12th house, there will be some sort of a restlessness. So be very careful how you spend your first half of January 2023. This is the time when unnecessary issues can create troubles with your life partner. This is the time when you will have to refrain from showing unnecessary dominance, possessiveness in relationship, having doubts in your mind. You need to follow the path of Jupiter. Yes, Sun in the 8th and a retrograde Mercury in the 8th can make you feel to dig deep into the information, but you should not come across as if you don't trust the person whom you should have trusted. Otherwise, this can break relationship. People can lose trust and faith in you, while you also lose trust and faith in them. Unnecessary dividing people. You will also see that there will be a Venus and Saturn energy combination from Capricorn and then also in Aquarius, which is your 9th and the 10th house. Therefore, it will ask you to be more responsible. It will ask you to be more giving during this particular month. And when Saturn moves from your 9th to the 10th house, it talks about career transformation. It talks about you taking matters in your own hand. And especially after 15th, when Mars becomes direct on your ascendant, Sun goes in your 9th house and Saturn goes in your 10th, things will become much more positive and much more stable. Jupiter in the 11th will also give you opportunities to grow your expenses, grow your income. But you have to be very careful that while you are focusing on earning money, any assumption where the money might come, and on the basis of that assumption, if you're pushing your expenses beyond your control, this can give you a very bad time in the future. This can completely derail your finances for 2023. The first half of January should be controlled with positive mindset. Maybe you need a guidance of a guru, of a friend. So if you are confused, go and talk to somebody. Maybe your friend, maybe your father. This is also the time when, due to the relationship disturbance with your in-laws, if you are married, you can have problems in your own relationship, in your own marriage. So when you are talking with your in-laws, you will have to be very, very careful. Now see the dilemma here. Mars and Ketu are in Venusian zodiac, which is your 1st and the 6th house. And Venus happens to be with Saturn continuously for the month of January. And this Venusian Saturn combination shows the heaviness on your moon sign, on your ascendant. And therefore, you might not fully enjoy according to you. But if you are sattvic, if you are giving, if you are practical, if you are down to earth, if you are showing the gratitude, you will have no problem. This is the time when you can think about investments, you can think about your retirement, you can think about putting money in a way that gives you proper output and not just the money rots. This is the time when some old locked money might come your way, maybe a property that was unused and you might now use it. This is the time when inheritance related war can happen in your home. Health can suddenly take a downturn, especially your health related to your nervous system, skin, sudden BP fluctuations. So psychosomatic issues will dominate the January month. Now you might think that this is a very negative month. No, absolutely no. It is only a month that gives you more anxiety, that will keep you on the toes. Continuous changes will make you frustrated. But as soon as the second half of the month comes into picture, things will slow down. You will feel much more happy. You will feel much more calmer. And the quicker you accept the situation and you adapt, the better your life will be. So January 2023 for Taurus Ascendant is more about adaptability, surrender, gratitude. And if you just pray to Shani mantra, Neelanjanam samabhasam raviputram yamagrajam chaya martanda sambhutam tam namami shanasharam. You will see bright positive results in January. Good time for career change, good time to bring investor on boards, good time to give up control on things where you don't no longer want to be a part of, good time to rethink about your future, good time for seeing the truth of your life partner and then accepting the flaws or then taking a decision. But absolutely a bad time to take any rash, irrational decision. Patience is the key. Gemini Ascendant. January 2023 will begin with your Ascendant Lord getting retrograde in your 7th house. That too along with Sun. Club it with a retrograde Mars in the 12th house. This talks about triggers that is making you unhappy, that is troubling you, that is forcing you to rethink on your life, rethink on the decisions that you make. And you may have to redo a lot of the tasks because of the feedback. Maybe a project delivered to client will come back repeatedly, a work that you want to complete in one shot, and you will see that there is a wave of repeated iterations. Don't get frustrated by that. Also, Rahu in the 11th will always elevate your expectations, and a retrograde Mars, a retrograde Mercury, and a retrograde Mars aspect on retrograde Mercury can actually make your subconscious mind feel a lot of restlessness, at least till mid of January. So until mid of January, things seems to be slightly dicey. Saturn is also about to move out from your 8th house. So you need to let this final chaos happen and just go with the flow. When Saturn will make its move out of the sign of Capricorn, move to your 9th house, you will gain back your destiny. You gain back your divine presence and the divine energies. Soon Sun will also make its move into your 8th house, and that is the time when your third lord goes in 8th house, and this is the time when you take matters in your own hand, and you may have to do some kind of task that you are trying to avoid. You have to address the elephant in the room, and that is the strict decision that the planets want you to take. Just that you have to ensure that you're not excessively wasting your energy on one particular task which is bound to not happen. Maybe you're trying to give so much of repeated attempts, so much of energy at one area of life that the other areas are missing. Maybe you are focusing on work so much. Maybe it is because out of fear, maybe because out of stress or tension, maybe because out of your need of perfection, that other areas of life affects and your personal life is affected because of this. Tensions with brother, cousins, supervisors, tensions between business partner defaming each other, business partner blaming each other, especially if you are involved in with investors and public money, and if you are involved in share trading, you have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, this time can make you take certain decisions in a fit of an anger, in a moment, in a heat of the moment. You will take the wrong decision and you might regret. You have to allow Jupiter in the 10th house to take control of your life, and this Jupiter will give you new opportunities. So you must follow the Jupiterian way, and right now the way is the way of patience. Retrograde Mercury and Sun is also the kind of an opportunity where the intelligence will be an all-time high. Now, come to the positive side. When these things go in excess because of retrogression, they are focused, they are laser focused. So people who are laser focused in their attitude, who are completely concentrated and doing your job one task at a time, will see a lot of success in January 2023. Also, you will have to observe that the Venus, which is your 12th lord and which is your 5th lord, especially your 5th lord, is along with Saturn. So you will see some slow growth also, especially if you are concerned about your children, things will become much more practical. You will start accepting a lot of things. If it is a matter related to stock market and share investment, you will start accepting a lot of things. Security will slowly come. But the first half of January, you should avoid because that is highly insecure and the second half is highly secured emotionally. So it's a mixed bag month, but a month that is bringing you the much needed relief, the end of Ashtama Shani. And I think that is worth it. With your trine getting the energy of Ketu and Saturn, you should focus more on Adhyatma, spirituality. Focus on how you can change the situation around you constructively and how you can focus on the pain areas of life and have an effective solution. Remember, there is a very thin line between finding an effective solution and trying repeatedly to move a wall, a task which you should have never taken in the first place. If you get that understanding of that thin line, January is going to give you a lot of changes, transformation, and positive output. The best way to handle this month is by taking the name of Bhagwan Ganesh and Narayan. So just chant Om Gam Ganpate Namah, Om Namo Narayana. Cancer Ascendant. If you see, Mars will be retrograde in your 11th house, and there will be a movement of Saturn from 7th to your 8th house, and the movement of Sun will be from 6th to your 7th house. So definitely it's a time where you can join your family business. You can resolve financial issues of your family by sitting together, by having a joint discussion. People who want to go look for marriage, or even if you are looking or searching for marriage of one of your family member, things may become positive during this time. But until Mars is retrograde till 13th, 14th of January, there will be a lot of hype in the expectations. There might be a lot of promises coming your way, but it is better to wait it out so that when Mars becomes direct, you are able to understand the true potential of what is being offered to you. Mercury will also be retrograde in your 6th house. And Mercury is a very important planet, especially if you are into export and import, if you are into research work, if you are an MBA, if you are into trading, if you are into finances. So you will have to be very careful about how you manage your investments, how you manage your loan. Your words can actually create disturbance, can actually create enemies during this time. Maybe an overstay of a relative or a surprise visit can confuse you and can derail your plans. So don't be angry on these things. See and value people around you, value people whom you can trust, whom you can depend upon. With Rahu in the 10th, going steadily, with Mars becoming positive and with Saturn going in the 8th house, definitely it's a time of being practical, but still trying to bring more and more transformations in your life. You have to also see that the entire trajectory of Venus, which is in fact going to be till mid of February, will be somewhat along with Saturn hand in hand. And Venus is a very important planet for you. Venus is a Yogakaraka planet for you. How? Venus rules your 4th and Venus rules your 11th house. So when Venus is ruling your assets and income, and when this planet goes along with Shani, it talks about being practical in your decisions, being grounded in your financial decisions. There may be some forced expense, so be prepared for that small plus and minus in your life. With respect to health, you will have to be slightly careful, especially how you communicate with your own body. So don't overload yourself, don't stress your mind and body during this time because of a very weird Mercury playing out in the 6th house. Good time to clear off the debt. Good time to get into a home loan because you want to build an asset for the future. But if you're an investor and you're trying to invest money in manufacturing units, properties, oils, petrol pumps, you will have to be slightly careful, and probably you need to wait till mid of February to take those decisions. But because of the presence of Jupiter in the 9th house, which aspects your ascendant and the 5th house, a lot of things will be under control and luck will be in your favor. Leo Ascendant. For you, Sun will be in the fifth house till mid of January, and on Makar Sankranti, 14th of January, Sun will make its move in the sixth house. Not only that, Saturn will enter the seventh house, and therefore it brings in the reality check in your life. It's a big transit for you, and it is a very important month also. It will bring a lot of career changes. It will make you rethink about the decisions that you have taken in the past, and it will make you rethink about the decisions that you might take in the future. So take all sorts of input into consideration, good or bad, think about it. Mercury will be with Sun in a retrograde fashion in your fifth house. So there may be some tension related to your children's education. Writers, professionals, journalists, people working in speculative business like share trading might see sudden ups and downs in the first half of January, but then things will slow down. Now, considering the holiday season, these ups and downs may not be very, very prominent, but still you cannot ignore it. You have to take care of your health. If you have to take care of your metabolism. Fear might be one of the bigger reasons that can stop you from taking major decisions in your life. If you suspect anything, if you are fearful, if you are doubtful, it is better to wait at least till 20th of January. Plan your way out, know everything in and out, and then take a decision. Related to marriage and romance, this can be a time when you can meet your lost partner. A bad marriage can reconcile, things can move in a positive direction, all if your chart allows. A seventh house Saturn opens up the possibilities of marriage, but then you will have to accept the compromises that are coming your way. And this is the beginning of it. Saturn is going to stay for 2.5 years. So this is just a beginning of those events. And with a retrograde Mars in the 10th house, you might regret your decision that are taken in a hurry. Retrograde Mars is a kind of an energy that is over the top. So you might drain yourself, you might completely become workaholic. You won't even realize how the month will pass because of the constant effort that Mars is trying to put in the 10th house. But if you are doing this to get an immediate result, then you are mistaken. You have to do this for something in the future, maybe after 6 months, maybe after 1 year, it will give you the result. So this is like charging the capacitor so that it allows you to sustain for some time. A good time to change your career if you want to look for something, some role that defines you, that supports you the way you are, that complements your knowledge and learning, then this is the time. For people trying to look for competitive examination for IAS and civil services in India, this is going to be a very good yoga. Your mind will become more sharper and you will be able to understand and you will be able to grab the information. So give your 200% during this time. And with Rahu in the 9th and Jupiter in the 8th, you have to focus on the spiritual and occult side of your life. And this is the time when you can get involved into a family business, maybe a family business of your in-laws, maybe a joint connect with your wife in a career can bring you a lot of positive energies. Travel is on the card, but whenever you are traveling, be very careful. Try not to engage into any fight with a person of power and a person who is like your father, because Sun going in 6th house and then Saturn and Venus energy connect can give you negative result because of the presence of Venus along with Saturn. This is a time of hard work. Venus rules your 10th and 3rd house. It's a time of hard work. It's a time of resilience. It's a time where you give in and later you expect. And if you do that, you will become victorious very soon. Take care of your health and take care of your ego. Mental health should be given prime importance during this time. Virgo ascendant. For Virgo, January is going to be a very good month. It's a month where Saturn makes its move out of your trine and goes in your 6th house. And 6th house Saturn is a Saturn where your team will expand. You will see that hard work will pay off. It's a time when you can fight and win your case, not only in the material court, but also in the spiritual court. If you also observe that Mars will become stable in your ninth house from 14th of January, Sun will also make its move in your fifth house. So everything seems to be extremely positive. Your productivity will increase, your decisions will become right, Jupiter's guidance will come into play, and Venus and Saturn practical association will also ensure that you are taking practical decisions, especially the decisions that are related to finances, family. Some This is also the time when the advice of your guardian, advice of your father, however tough it may be, however negative it may sound, will be accurate and will be helpful for you. So do not ignore the advice of the elderly people in your family. For Virgo, once the Mars gets settled, Mars Sun will form a trine in the 159 axis, in the 159 houses, and Jupiter aspect on the first house makes you courageous, makes you take a bold decision. It will give you a lot of strength to decide for your life, and January will be a month where instead of things being smooth, it will move forward in a fast pace, and all you have to do is just not get dissolved in what is happening, but rather be on top of it. So don't be a swimmer in the river of karma. Be a person who is on a boat, who knows what is the direction of the flow of the karma, but also is on top of it. How can you do that? By chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, by being more aware of the events of your life. People who are trying for a job change, who are looking for a new job, basically, if you are a jobless, employment will see new opportunities here. Virgo ascendant and moon sign natives will get right members for their team if you are a businessman or self-employed, who will cater to the needs and will help your business grow. Yes, slow and steady wins the race is going to be the key mantra here. With Ketu in the second house, you will have to be very careful with food that you eat, especially considering that Venus is with Saturn. Try to eat less food. Maybe you can do Ekadashi Vrat, fasting on the lunar moon tithi of Ekadashi, and that will be extremely helpful. Taking the name of Narayan and chanting Hanuman Chalisa every day is going to be extremely auspicious for you. You might hear good news from your family, good news from your children. Their success will make you proud, and your efforts will also bring you good results. But before making any major investments, because everything is good, you will have to think 10 times. Taking a loan for something that is like house loan or maybe a car loan, if you need it, if it's a necessity, you will get it. There will be no difficulty. But if it is not a necessity, you might feel the heat of the moment. This is the time when Scorpio is one zodiac sign which will be impacted because of the Mars and Saturn aspect together, especially in the second half of January, which is basically your third house. So your efforts will be challenged. You will also see stiff competition. So be ready. Be ready to prove. Sun is there to help you shine bright. If you are ready to face the challenge, you will become victorious. It's the month of victory for you. Libra ascendant. Now, in your case, your ascendant Lord Venus is going hand in hand with Saturn for the entire month of January. Now, when Venus is in Capricorn and Aquarius in a month, and there are Saturnian energies associated with these two zodiac, it's the time to face the reality. Mercury is also going to go retrograde, third from your house, and then it will become direct in the middle of month, which means that some decisions taken by you will have to be rolled back or revisited. So give enough room when you take a decision, when you make a decision, and give some buffer time, some buffer space for yourself. Cut to cut decisions, cut to cut time frames may hurt you, may hurt your productivity this month. Sun will also be in Sagittarius, and then Sun will also move in your fourth house. It's the time when you might feel the ego, the stress at home. So in order to resolve that, you have to bring in some happy atmosphere. You have to enforce peace, and you will have to ensure that the festive mood keeps alive, and you are constantly talking out of the problems, helping family members, cracking jokes, a bit of humor, a bit of playful mood, joyful mood, especially in the second half of January. After 14th, Sun will make its move in the fourth house. Mars will become direct in your eighth house. And Saturn will also move in the sign of Aquarius from fourth to fifth house. Now, that gives you a lot of hope. This gives you a chance to improvise on your learning, on your education, maybe for a change of career, or maybe something that you have learned now comes handy. You will see that you will start appreciating small things, small happiness, and some things that you discarded or you thought that it won't be of any use. It can be an object, it can be a relationship, it can be anything. Will now show that they are also important. So this is the time that you appreciate anything and everything that you have, and you should value them as much as you can. Mars will become from retrograde to direct in your eighth house, and therefore you will have to take care of your wealth, inheritance, investment, especially in matters related to land, when you're trying to communicate about your own investment and wealth with your brothers. Matters related to inheritance, taxation should be dealt carefully, and you will also have to take good care of your health. Drive carefully and be very careful when dealing with fire, sharp objects, and avoid any unnecessary verbal spat, and unnecessary confrontations. But if you see, this is the month of practicality, month of reality, month of growth, and a month which will tell you your exact position so that you can take the right leap of faith. Scorpio Ascendant. Your Ascendant Lord will be retrograde till the first half of the month. That means in the seventh house. So you will see that maybe you are trying to be involved in some place, in some event, thinking that your involvement is going to bring any change. But quickly you might realize that that's not how it is going to be. So it's the time to give up that control and don't get involved unless you are being asked to. Interaction with environment is going to be very, very important. You will leave a presence, you will leave an impression wherever you will go. So work on your personality and your aura and make it as positive as possible. Also, you have to observe that any problem related to marriage can also solve during this time, especially in the second half. And with Saturn going in your fourth house from 17th January, it creates Shash Yoga. So it gives you leadership quality. So now you might be asked to play vital roles, an important role in people's life and career. And in your career also, you might see that you might be promoted, or at least you will get a chance to execute your position, your authority in a positive manner, in a constructive manner. Yes, there will be restrictions because Venus is always going to be with Saturnian energies during this month, and which also means that constantly every now and then you will be told your limitation, you will be reminded of your mistakes, and so that you are always grounded. But a good time to execute your leadership skill. Jupiter aspect on the Lagna, Jupiter in the fifth house creates a perfect situation where you can outshine your competitors and you can actually prove your mettle. Sun, once it's moved from second house to the third house, is also going to give you a lot of new career opportunity, new initiatives will be taken, and this is the time when you will have to take matters in your own hand and actually bring some positive change. You might not get any help this time because you are the help. So be the help to the needy, serve the poor, give food to people, and speak very, very cautiously. Mercury is in the second house, retrograde in the first half, then direct in the second half. You will have to be very, very cautious, and from 10th to 20th January, be careful before you take any major decisions, especially related to investment, change of career, because one wrong word, one wrong communication, and somebody's ego can hurt, and that can actually trouble your career. But overall, if I see, it's a positive formation. In spite of all the challenges, you will score well, you will do well. And if you take good care of your skin, if you take good care of your health and immunity, you will be able to succeed and outshine your competition and actually do something good. Even if you're a student, you can do something brilliant And the preparation that you will have is going to give you a good support in the future. So it's a supportive month. Make the best use of it. Sagittarius ascendant. Matters related to career and marriage, business and marriage can confuse you. It can divide you into two parts. Your marriage and your business and your career will pull you in different directions. You will have to manage that in a very calm and composed manner, and wait until the second half of the month that will bring more solutions. One important thing is that Saturn will move in your third house, and third house is actually the Mula Trikona zodiac for Shani. Now, with Saturn in the third and Jupiter in the fourth, this is the time when you will work towards your comfort zone. You will see things coming your way, and as soon as Saturn moves to Aquarius, it brings much positive energy. But then it also talks about taking responsibility in your own hand and delegating tasks. Not that everything can be done by you, but you have to understand the importance of team this time. With Mars retrograde and then Mars direct in your sixth house, you have to take great care of your health. You have to be very careful of your competition, of your enemies during this time. So chanting Hanuman Chalisa 3 times every day will be a great blessing, and you will be able to have that divine aura and divine presence to keep the negative energy away. Mercury is also going to be on your ascendant, first retrograde and then direct. So you will have to be very, very cautious how you think, because any assumption that you make may prove wrong. So wait till Mercury becomes direct and all the transits happen. So after 20th, take any important decision. Don't try to be a judgmental person. Don't judge anyone just because there is a certain event that you have seen. Maybe your senses will deceive you. But Jupiter in the fourth house is going to give you enough knowledge, courage in the heart, benevolent heart. It's like Jupiter exalted for you, so you will see things will be more positive for you. Gain of property, gain of car. You might buy something that you love the most during this time. Initiatives will be taken by you to resolve issues in your home. Maybe renovation of a house, maybe buying a new car, maybe buying a new property. All that is on the cards. But Jupiter also goes under Papkartari once Saturn moves. So this is the beginning of the Papkartari of Guru, that too in the fourth house. So you might feel a bit trapped in your own home. You might feel a bit trapped by your own comfort zone. So be ready to leave the comfort zone and quit laziness, quit procrastination, and be highly proactive during this time. And this month will mark the beginning of a wonderful year of 2023 for you, because Sun, which is your ninth lord, is also going to go in the second house from the first house. So destiny, bhagya, blessings are on your way. Chanting Gayatri Mantra and Aditya Hriday Stotra is going to be an exceptional way of managing energies in the month of January. Capricorn ascendant. You will see the biggest impact, the biggest relief, the biggest change in the month of January, especially after 17th January, when Saturn will make its move in your second house. Definitely it's the time to start to develop strong bond with your family. Think about your own resources. Start conserving what you have and appreciating what you have. You will have to learn the art of doing whatever you can achieve with whatever little or more you have. And once you master the art of utilizing what you have, utilizing or managing well within what you have, you will see that what you have is going to be more and more and more, because Saturn will bless you with more and more because you have learned. Saturn in the second house also will be associated with Venusian energies, and Venus is your fifth house, and Venus is also your 10th house. So definitely it would want you to learn. It would want you to deliver what you have committed. There can be slight work pressure that will take away the charm from the life, the romance from the life. But then you will have to do effort. You will have to put in efforts to keep your marriage, keep your relationship active and healthy and happy. Mercury will also go retrograde and then direct in your 12th house. So unnecessary expenses can happen. So be careful once you are trying to go for luxury. Think about necessity before targeting any luxury. And also with Mars getting retrograde and then getting direct in the fifth house, ultimately shows a lot of positive angle to this. This shows that your lost money can come back. Money that was stuck will also come back. You can hear good news from the children. The health of mother can improve. Productivity will improve and your direction will be in the right form and in the right manner. Just that you should ensure that you're not taking any unnecessary risk to increase your wealth, because Saturn in the second house wants a slow growth now. So people involved in stock market who wants to invest in cryptos and all, you will have to be very, very careful this time. Gambling is not going to pay off by any means. You might suddenly feel the need of buying a new house, a new property. You might feel uncomfortable where you are, so you might now try to isolate yourself. There can be a mental and emotional isolation also. Just let it happen. This is just the beginning. It has not yet matured. You might not even understand why Saturn is doing all this in the first place. What you have to do is just take the name of Narayana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Just take the blessing of Bhagwan Narayan and let Shani do his job. Your ascendant is now free from the Saturn. You will see that this is the time when all your efforts, all your wealth and health and improve and your assets will improve, but you have to give time. Second house means you will have to give time, some time, and you will see improvement. This is the beginning of a wonderful 2023. Aquarius ascendant. Saturn will make its move on your ascendant on 17th of January. So definitely you are gaining back the strength. Just that you have to ensure that you come true to the teachings of Saturn, to the test of Saturn. Mars, which is retrograde in the fourth house, might have created a mess in your home, might have created a lot of dilemmas related to property, assets, maybe some frustration within your heart, uncomfortable life. And now things will slowly settle down as the middle of 2023 January comes, as you start accepting, as you start showing gratitude. The more the acceptance will come, the better your life will become and the less the struggle will be. This will be the time when you will understand that there are few areas in your life where you must put in extra efforts, and then there are a couple of areas in your life where you have to simply give up. That understanding will come after second part of 2023 January. Especially when Mercury is in your 11th house, retrograde Buddha is going to make you frustrated because of your gains. Maybe you are putting your efforts but you're not gaining anything. You're only losing, you're only giving. But as soon as the Mercury becomes direct, you will understand that first you will have to invest. Remember, Buddha is your Ashtama Lord, 8th Lord. First you will have to invest and then you will get the gain. But if I see the overall picture of January, by the time January ends, you will be much more happier, much more understanding, much more settled. So this is the time when it will settle you down. But for some who has a weak moon, it can bring sadness, melancholy. If you're an Aquarius moon, it can be a little bit heavy on you. So what should you do? Take the name of Bhagwan Shiva, do yoga, do meditation at least 10 minutes every day, chant Hanuman Chalisa, and keep donating, keep working for yourself, working on your social skills, and you will see that the message that Saturn wants to deliver will be delivered to you in a much more beautiful manner. You will understand that this is your domain, this is your strength area, this is your weak area, and this is your limitation. Once you start working within that rules and within that boundaries, once you start respecting that, January will become an excellent beginning of an excellent year for you. Pisces ascendant. Jupiter is going steady and the month begins with the retrograde 4th and 7th Lord, that too in the 9th house. That means January might be slightly confusing. Things might just mess up and it might be that you don't know where to be, which part to touch, which part to, it might be maybe because of laziness, maybe because of festive mood, maybe because of procrastination. But you will see that you will give more focus to at least one area of your life, much more than what it requires, and your focus may lack in other areas. So be very careful how you define your focus, especially in your career. You might not feel like working. You might be feeling that you need to do something else. Control those thoughts at least until 20th of January, and after that, decide your next course of life. Let Saturn move in the 12th house. Let it impact the psychological, subconscious mind. Let Saturn give you a kind of an impression of what it wants to do when it enters your 12th house. Remember, for Pisces, it will be a Pap Kartari. As soon as Saturn enters the 12th house, Rahu is in the second house. Now the ascendant goes under the block of under the two walls of Saturn and Rahu. What it means is that it wants you to solidify your foundation. It wants you to fix your mind, focus your mind at one task at a time. Whereas Rahu in the second house shows that you have to create resources out of thin air. So maybe, it's like if you want to do something, Jupiter gives you the knowledge, Saturn gives you the strength and the foundation. Now you will have to do some smart work to give some extraordinary output in life. And all that will happen, especially for entrepreneurs, students, philosophers, scientists, researchers, IT engineers. Technical advancements is on the cards during this time. It is the time when your confidence will also be tested. Somebody might test your knowledge also. So don't go into any ego war. Once Sun goes into your 11th house, this will give you new opportunities to grow. This will give you new opportunities to increase your income, maybe find a new source of income. And it's a good time for businessmen also. Overall, for Pisces, it's a time of realization. It's a time of change. Observe, be an observer in the month of January, and you will end up finding some true gems about yourself, finding some true talent that was hidden within you, and then you can work on that. It's a time for self-learning.